welcome to another episode of Mtaa. Papa Mikey with you. And I don't know if you've seen the news or what's been going on. It's been circulating all across X, everywhere. There's this guy called Darlington Mutai. What a name. Darlington Mutai, all the way in Kericho Lands Registry. Allegedly was caught or was being was actually arrested by ESCC officials for having taken bribes in excess of 210,000 shillings, 210K. And this just underscores the big problem that we have in Kenya as it pertains to corruption, as it pertains to bribery, as it pertains to impunity at public offices. This guy apparently, people were fed up because every time they want to register a parcel of land, every time they want the title deeds processed, this guy asks for something small, kitu kidogo, for him to process your papers, for him to process your title deed, for him to process the things that you want to be processed. And it had become a habit. In this particular case, he was caught with 210,000 shillings for having requested that to process the title deed for parcel of land. We have a big issue in Kenya. We have a big problem as Africans, and as I don't know what is wrong with us. Why can't we just sit down and sometimes just do the right thing? And it's so deeply ingrained in us. Like, corruption it's a fact. Even I don't know what is wrong with us. Ni kama kuna kitu inatukula. It's so deeply ingrained in us. We do it every single day without blinking. We do it every single day without even processing it. It's like an extension of our body. Why? At this point, I honestly think probably the only thing that would save Kenya and Kenyans from this bad habit of corruption, this bad habit of bribery, of subverting public services so that you can profit off of them by requesting for kitu kidogo, probably is just execution. Go the way China did. Execute people who are in public offices, who are asking or who are engaging in practices of corruption, because I don't think it's taken serious enough. I don't think it's taken with the weight that it should. And because there are no serious repercussions, so many people get off doing with or stealing a lot of public money. And you can bribe the judiciary system in Kenya. That's a fact. We all know that. But we are in trouble. We really need to sit down and ask ourselves where the rain started beating us, because corruption is a big part of Kenya. Yani, to take that amount of bribe. And that's what has been discovered. That's the person who's been caught. What about those who have not been caught? What about those ones that were never discovered? And I ask myself today, we have wonderful social tools like X, social media all over, where information can, of course, be spread quickly about cases and news that spreads. What about zile siku za Nyayo? What about the previous day? I think that's why the president was, the other time alikuwa na complain. This is siku zingine amuko mnaleta issue. The other days, you are not complaining against the other leaders. Why are you bringing issues against my regime? And I think those guys must have been getting away with murder, because today everything is practically, a lot is documented. I remember the way the whistle was blown on Shah, the Adani deal and all these things. What about back in the day when you did not even know what deals were being struck behind closed doors? You did not know what agreements and arrangements were being done and how much money was being siphoned to people's pockets. They must have been stealing a lot. And especially if the media channels were owned or controlled by the government entities, it must have been awful. It must have been a lot that people got away with. And yet the time to be corrupt was like in those times, in those ages, when there was practically no social media. Now that, things are out in the open and people can investigate, people can do their research and put the information out in public, and a lot of people get to consume that information on social media, on X. Look at, for example, the Shah thing, the way the whistle was blown and, the way information was out there. Now is just not the time. Is probably the worst time to be corrupt in this day and age moving forward. But we do have a big problem with corruption in Kenya. We actually need to sit ourselves down and ask ourselves, what is wrong with us as Kenya? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? Because something is inherently wrong with us. And it's not just even in high offices, even in our daily lives. Like, we actually do engage in bribery and corruption a lot. Damn, we need to change, guys. We need to change, or we're in serious trouble. I was just thinking, do you know the strength of your honesty or the strength of your friendship would be tested by one of you having bad breath? I think one of the worst nightmares for me is having bad breath. Having breath that stinks and you don't know. Like that must be, it must be when you reach home and you realize that your breath was stinking. It must be cringe worthy. Because you know, the thing with bad breath is it's so hard to tell someone or to confront someone who has bad breath and let them know that, you dude or sister, you actually have some bad, man, your breath is stinking this morning or today, this afternoon. You need to do something. Shika PK. How do you break down to someone, or how do you let someone know that they have bad breath? It's a nightmare. And very few people are actually honest with guys or people who have bad breath. Personally, me, I try to avoid myself or try to push myself away from that situation. But it's hard to actually confront someone who has bad breath. If you can do that, yeah, it takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of balls. Like, hey, man, that's why having bad breath is and not knowing is a nightmare. At least when you know, you can cover up. But man, having bad breath, and that's the day when the stories you have are just exceeding plenty. That's the day when you have so many stories to tell. That's the day when you have so much to say without realizing you had bad breath. And then you get home and you smell your breath. You're like, don't tell me the whole afternoon. Don't tell me the whole day. My breath was smelling like this and I never, ever knew. Man, it's important to always check your breath, because that's it can be one of the more embarrassing things that can happen, because no one is actually going to tell you the truth. When you have bad breath, no one will let you know, because it's so hard to actually let someone know. It feels like as though you're going to crush someone's ego or psyche or whatever it may be, or, someone might take it as a personal affront on them. Yeah, I mean, bad breath is just one of those. Elafu, you have bad breath and you be the person who, when you talk, a lot of spit comes out of your mouth. Call that double tragedy. Let me know, I mean, when someone has bad breath, what do you resort to? Do you actually confront them? Do you tell them that, hey man, have you brushed your teeth this morning? If you're family, you can do that. If your spouse with someone, if someone is your kid or whatever, or you have a parent, you can actually tell them. You tell your parent you have bad breath today. Your pocket money, you're not going to see it in a long while. Let me know what you feel about that. Do you actually tell someone when they have bad breath or not? On Mtaa on this episode. And of course, be sure to check out YouTube. Check out the channel. It's on the bio on all social platforms. And make sure you subscribe and like.